Hello, everyone. It's that time again. Time for another. This is Commentary with Ozzy Rose. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Ozzy Rose. I hope everyone is having a great day on this nice sunny Sunday. The topic for this commentary segment is need. That's right, need. I know I write very long posts. I know that. And I know a lot of you don't have time to read something that long. Even on the short version, it's long. But if you read towards the bottom of it, I say, and I mean that truly, that without all of you, there would be no me, and that is true. I do need you here. Like when I go strutting here, if the majority of you didn't like it, Jonesboro, Arkansas, I wouldn't do it. I would just simply be a jogger. But most of you do like it. So I do need you. I need my audience. And if like I said, if I knew in my heart that really most of you didn't like it, I wouldn't do it, and I would simply be a jogger. And I wouldn't need you for me to be a jogger. Wouldn't need anybody to be a jogger, so to speak. I don't mean that in a bad way, but the majority of you like it here. But what I do here, so I do mean it when I say without you, there most certainly wouldn't be an Ozzy Rose, and that's the truth. And I do need my audience. And towards the top of it, when I'm writing it, I say thanks again, Jonesboro, Arkansas, for being my audience today, because I truly do mean that. Y'all are my audience. If I didn't have an audience, like I said, I would just be a jogger. That would be me. So I do need my audience. Without you, there most certainly wouldn't be an Ozzy Neil Rose, and that's for sure. That's a fact. But we all need something, I think. I usually just give you examples for me in the commentary segments because I can't really speak for everybody. But we need something, so to speak. I don't know how to put that in a better way. Like, I am so glad that the Jack in the Box opened because for my pay scale, it really meets my needs, and it does. Going to Wendy's didn't. They were the highest on the chain of fast food restaurants. McDonald's was the cheapest, then Burger King's a little bit higher, and Wendy's was higher. But Jack in the Box, for my pay scale, really works for me, and I do need Jack in the Box. I need them because I live over here by them. So there are a bunch of good people over there that work there. They like what I do. I've done a review for them over there. I was so happy to do it. So I do need them, because it keeps me too from having to cook at camp, because I'm kind of a lazy cook, so most of my eating comes from Jack in the Box. So do I need them? You bet I need them. I'm so glad that they opened right over here by where I'm at. I'm so happy for that and thankful. And like I said, I like all the staff over there. They're a good bunch of people over there. A good bunch of people that comes to the restaurant there, so I'm glad they're here. But it's like I said, I think we all need at least something in our lives. Now, don't get me wrong, we have many wants, me included, but we have to have the need of food to stay alive. That's not a want, that's a need. We have to have clothes on our body. That's a need, not a want. Now, you might want real fancy clothes. Now, that would be a want, if you know what I mean. But, we can't run around here naked. We would get put in jail. So, but it's true. I think every one of us has needs. Need for food in order to stay alive. Need of drink. We got to have at least water to keep us alive. We had to have clothes. That's a need. I can speak for other people as far as those three things go. We need shelter. Now my shelter, y'all know, is a tent, but I'm happy to have that tent. There's a lot of people that don't have that. Then there's a lot of people that do have a tent. I'm not the first one to have a tent here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. There's others that have a tent. A friend of mine, not far from where I'm at, he's camped out in a tent and has a little dog with him. But we have to have the need of shelter to keep rain from getting on us, to keep the bitter cold and the heat. You may ask, well, Ozzy, how'd you get by this winter? I had a heater in my tent. You're probably thinking, well, okay, what about summertime? It's getting hot now. I got a fan, but I mean, I could do without a fan. I guess you could say that's a need, you know. I mean, a want, I guess you could say, for me. You know, I could have done without a heater. I had 5 blankets. You know, I would have survived. So I guess you could say that's kind of a want. But I kind of looked at it as a need, especially this past winter. It was ferocious, as we all know, this past winter. Do I have a need for these? No. That's a want, you know. So, but the good Lord provides for me. He provides my needs. He provides my food, my water, my clothes, my shelter. He provides. He is not going to let me, you know, not go totally without. Plus, he give me things in here, you know, knowledge and wisdom to, you know, no matter how bad the circumstances get, I don't give up. I don't give in. I tackle it. You know, that's what a survivalist does. Now, some things don't pan out. You might come up a little bit short on things when you're a survivalist. But you just choke it up as a loss and you keep moving forward. So, you know, it is what it is with me. There's a lot of other people that are survivalists. I'm not the only one. You know, so, I mean, could I live off of trapping, fishing for my food, eating fruit, you know, eating wild mushrooms? I could. But there'd be days that you would go without food. Then there would be days where you'd have a little bit of it. You know, I wouldn't go without water, you know. But to live a total survivalist life, I could do it. You know, it just means that some days you might not catch no fish. Some days you might not get no wild game either. Then that means you got to look for wild mushrooms, berries, stuff like that, which I could do that, you know. But it would take away from me doing everything else that I'm doing to be a total survivalist. And it would. I couldn't do this commentary segment. I couldn't do a confessions video. I couldn't do no strutting, no nothing. I would have to full-time focus on that. So, but if I had the need to do it, I would do it. Because only I can take care of me. The Lord takes care of me from Him. But what I'm saying is, I can't rely on nobody else to do that. No matter what it is in my life that comes before me, I have to take care of it. And I do. And I get frustrated sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I get frustrated, but I don't give up and I don't give in. You know, now some things don't pan out, and they don't. And when they don't pan out, I just say it's the Lord's will. I don't get real mad about it and give up and give in. I just keep staying positive and I keep moving forward. I'm not trying to get off the topic here, don't get me wrong. But we all have needs. Now, wants is a different thing, as y'all know. But we all have the needs. Like I said, we got to have food, we got to have water, we got to have shelter, we got to have clothes, we got to have shoes on our feet, you know. So those are the basics that we got to have as far as needs go. But it's a bonus for me that I have the needs of my audience here in Jonesboro. And Jonesboro is what has made me here. I will never live anywhere else. That's just me. I've been to all 48 states. I've lived in the smaller towns. I've lived in the major cities. Jonesboro is where I'm going to live, and Jonesboro is where I'm going to die at. And that's just how it is with me, you know. So, do I have the need to do everything else that I'm doing besides the strutting thing, like commentary, all this other stuff? In a way, yeah, because y'all hit on my videos. Without you hitting on my videos, then I wouldn't even make them. If nobody hit on my videos. But y'all hit on all my videos, no matter what videos that come out. Like the live segment, you know, 2 lives a day, everything. I do have the need. I need all of you for everything that I do. And that is the honest to God truth. Without all of you, not just the audience for strutting, without all of you hitting on my videos, reading my long posts, the whole 9 yards, then I wouldn't do any of it. That's just a fact, you know. So I will never ever get too big for my britches, and I never had an ego in life, and I'm not ever going to have one. I don't take any of you for granted. I need you and I love you, and that's the truth. I don't say nothing that I don't mean. I've never said anything in life that I did not mean. I've always meant what I said. And I need you to keep on doing what you're doing for me. Hitting on my videos, reading my long posts, loving my strutting, the whole 9 yards. Because truly, without all of you, there most certainly would not be an Ozzy Neil Rose. And that's a fact, Jack. Thank you.